Is technology a force for good or for evil? If you find yourself asking that question on occasion, then please listen to me, my friend. Do not expect a yes or no answer, because things are not that simple. It all depends on the person using it. Oh yeah, you heard me right. It all depends on a lot of factors. Let's take a good example of the Wright brothers. Those young boys had a dream of building a big, beautiful bird that will enable them to reach for the skies and take them to whatever place they wanted to go. I mean, these guys had childish ambitions of traveling the world with the help of their invention, so they went ahead and built something awesome. Never in their minds had they ever imagined that their creative genius would take over the world like a tropical storm. Only a few years after their first powered and controlled aircraft took to the air in North Carolina in December 17, 1903, other world-changing events began to brew from a world away. A brutal and highly mechanized conflict broke out in continental Europe, and the Wright brothers' ideas were immediately turned into war machines. And a couple of decades later, more advanced and destructive warplanes were built during World War II. Today, warplanes are more advanced than ever, and the Air Force is a critical part of every nation's defense strategy. But today we use airplanes for so many things outside the battlefields and warfare. Passenger planes are seen in our skies taking travelers from one corner of the planet to another in just a couple of hours, something that was science fiction only a century and a half ago. Aircrafts are also an essential part of the freight industry. We often get perishable and fragile cargo through planes. Helicopters today are used in vast array of fields, very commonly used in the tourism industry, where families and folks on honeymoon are flown over beautiful landscapes for sightseeing trips. From emergency airlifts in natural disaster zones, helicopters come in handy, dropping essential supplies and lifting out seriously injured folks that may need emergency medical attention. They are the perfect planes for conducting search and rescue missions. Say, for instance, lost and found hikers often recall the moment they heard the roaring blades of a chopper flying towards them during their rescue, a wonderful experience that sticks to them for the rest of their lives. Choppers are the perfect planes needed to reach the most remote areas that are inaccessible by roads. They are used in logging timber from the forest, and also in the construction industry at times. They have got plenty more uses. Choppers have also found many varied applications where they form a critical part of the Air Force. But there are many more choppers in the civilian hands than there are in the Defense Department. So you can see airplanes have done more good than harm to humanity, and we cannot blame the Wright brothers for inventing their flying machines. Their motives, in my opinion, were completely innocent. They simply wanted some little attention, but ended up changing the whole world. It all depends on your point of view. The angle from which you look at all flying machines will lead you to conclude whether they are a blessing or a curse. Are they a force for good or for evil? Or maybe a perfect blend of both? A lot of things in this world are not purely black and white. We have got to take a more critical look at the gray areas that modern-day technology operates in. The same analogy applies to the high-tech gadgets in our hands today. Even though they have become essential tools in our day-to-day lives, they also have the potential to do great harm. All of that depends on the motives of the person behind the gadget. Is technology really a blessing or a curse? Has technology improved our lives, or has it added more burdens to our already busy schedules? When one says it has brought about significant improvements, it would rather mean things are simpler, life is easier, you don't have to spend extra hours meditating at your office table, salaries are higher, you relax and sleep much longer, everything is smooth, because machines have taken over daily labor. If that was really the case, we would not be complaining of backaches, visual problems, stomach cramps, and fatigue. In fact, in countries where technology is at its highest peak, people are working twice as hard, twice as long, and double the expenditure of money they need to keep those technologies running. And in a good condition, machines don't reduce the workload, they simply make the work easier. Technology has proven to be both a blessing and a curse. Does technology really simplify life, or does it clutter it with more meaningless stuff? There is an astronomical phrase which says, traveling to the moon takes 16 days. 1 day of steering the shuttle till it touches its surface carefully, and 15 days of figuring out which buttons to press.